So we are here live on Fired Up Friday. And today, look who we have in the house, y'all. Two raw, two reels.
Hey y'all. Talk about a little tired, child. I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday. But I'm
Oh,
feeling I'm feeling better now. I don't know what was going on. Child,
oh,
it's
I'm
always
so,
something. It's always something with
yeah.
me. Okay, I can't help it.
Oh, well, thank you for being the tough fighter that you are and, working through and dealing with it all. And like I said, we're just delighted to have you join us today in this conversation. And of course, always happy to be able to have this conversation with Tiff. She's one of my favorite people to chop it up politically with. And so we're going to get started. And one of the things, oh, Tiff, definitely a couple of the things that I wanted us to cover was, of course, this Democratic, the kind of gerrymandering that has caused the Texas Dems to leave Texas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the eugenics ad that some people want to go, no big deal, but it really is. And then I was mentioning to Penny that Trump, one of the little Doge boys got beat up apparently in DC, and so now he's clamping down on policing and some other stuff. So keep an eye on that. But also, I'm really delighted because Tiff and I were talking a little bit about the new podcast that Jamie Harrison has and the great interviews that he is doing, the people that he has had on. So I want to just kind of start because I wrote a Substack about that ad that Sydney, whatever Sweeney, has done. And I know it's an ad, but it's so rooted in racism and eugenics. And a lot of people, like some people are like, oh, that's a distraction, no big deal. But I really want people to stop, and think about that a minute because it really is what it's a bullhorn into kind of conditioning and bringing back some of the, kind of racist ideology and eugenics culture that existed in this country before. Like it's not new, and they're trying to bring it back. I'd love to have, your thoughts on it. We'll go with our guests first, and then Tiffany. What do you think about it, Kenny?
As far as like Sweeney Todd, so I was about to say Sweeney Todd, child. Sydney Sweeney. Oh my goodness. See,
I love it.
forgive me, child, but just as white as Sweeney Todd.
Exactly.
So, Sydney Sweeney, child, it's just a mess to me. Honestly, I get the outrage of it. They've been doing this for years, though. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, they've literally been always pushing blonde hair, blue eyes. The European standard of beauty since the day of inception. But I think this just goes to a deeper, I guess, a deeper conversation of what America is literally trying to lean to. We literally
Mhm.
saw with our past election that we were able to, America decided they would rather elect a felon, somebody who had been liable for sexual assault, somebody who is unqualified to hold, office, but yet they couldn't elect somebody who's literally the most qualified person that just so happened to be a woman of color. Right now, you're also seeing like some Democrats still leaning over to trying to, appeal to whites. For some odd reason, everything is just leaning in the white direction. And this is just another example of that. And for people who believe that, pop culture doesn't have any relevance when it comes to politics, it does. All of it moves the needle. Even when you're looking at Target with the rolling back of DEI initiatives, everything is moving further and further white, and everything is moving further and further right. So all of these things are interconnected. So I think we do need to definitely pay attention.
Absolutely. I love what you said. Everything's moving further white and further right because that is what they're for. And that's what that whole Project 2025 agenda is about. White Christian nationalism, them having power. So, Tiff, give me your take on it.
Well, but to me, the ad itself is to me being, well, not that is the way that it's perceived in the media and the way that they're saying, oh, this is a left, the left is freaking out and all. That's not true. The left is not freaking out. They took maybe like 4 people who said something, like she's a Nazi and all this stuff. They took that and they perverted it to me, and they made it into something that it wasn't. Right now, we have our own feelings on it. Like, we know that we see the coded message in it. We know what they're trying to do. But what I'm annoyed with is I'm tired of seeing flat asses on my damn ah, I'm
Miss
so serious.
Nancy.
If I see one more flat ass congressperson showing Nancy Mace, you have, Lauren Boebert today. There's all these other people with their flat asses all over my timeline. I'm tired of it. So I don't care if you have good genes, but please get your ass off of my Twitter. That's all I'm asking for. It's frustrating. So I think the whole the concept behind the ad, we all know what it means. Like you said, we're moving in that direction. It's not surprising. Donald Trump is the poster boy for this. He is. He proclaims that he wants to be the poster boy for Anglo-Saxons and blonde hair, blue eyes. And he's so damn ugly. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's like so much behind it that I think that as for us politicals, we can't harp on this because there is 50 million other things that are more important than this ad, because they're going to continue to put out these ads, and they're doing it as a counter, right? So what they're trying to do is counter ads that have come out before, where we have mixed families, there's leaning, like I said, towards DEI. This is all playing into it and trying to kind of manipulate people. But I don't think that we should fall for it. We can talk about it and we should understand what it means, but I don't think it's something that what we should be focused on is what the most important thing, which is these fools trying to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Let's get into that. I'm getting a little feedback. I'm going to try to take my earbuds out and see and make sure we don't lose sound, you guys. Can you guys
Yeah.
still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay. I agree with everything you said, Tiff. We absolutely have to stay focused. And that really, the thing going on down in Texas is number one, because they're started there. They don't plan to stop there. They're already going into other states, trying to determine whether or not they can do the same thing there. And we know these people, they are relentless. I really am so proud of all of the Democrats who, have kind of coalesced around them, who, and a lot of people are saying, well, it's not going to change anything. I think it already has changed things because it has brought a lot of focus and attention to it so that people understand. Like Jasmine keeps saying, it's not going to stop there, like that's just the beginning.
Exactly.
So let me hear what, your thoughts are on it, Kenny.
So, I mean, Texas gerrymandering isn't anything new. I interviewed Jasmine Crockett, and she was talking about how Texas has been gerrymandered already. It's just this is just a more extreme way of snatching seats away from Democrats and making them challenge other Democrats in their area, along with just completely erasing Jasmine out of her, like moving her completely out of her district. Just it's outlandish. But none of this stuff is new. But one thing that what I can say about Democrats, at least in this moment, particularly what Texas Democrats are doing, they're being the prime example of how fighting back really looks like. They're using the tools to their disposal, because a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they're just running for the hills, this, that, and the other. You see my little video, me and Tina Turner running for my life, But child, talk about that another day. But anyways, so they're using the tools as the disposal. This has been going on. Like, they've used this tactic. I'm not just talking about just Democrats, but Republicans alike in political spaces. They've used this tactics before, since the 1800s. It's not new. They have to use any tool that they possibly can to stall this from happening. And all it is just a stall. And what I need people to understand is, in order to really make a real change, is people have to turn out and vote. That's the problem. And that's been the problem for the long time. The root cause is people are not voting. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening. And these people are literally getting ready to silence a whole bunch of people who would be literally moved out of their district and have a representative that doesn't even represent their best interests.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They are ruthless and relentless in their efforts to silence our votes because they have said, they know the more people vote, the less likely they are to win, which is why they're so married to voter suppression and gerrymandering to silence voices. So it's very irritating to me to have people silence themselves, uncommitted and all of this crap. It's just ridiculous. So thank you. Tiff, your thoughts?
D, do you still have feedback? I have some now.
I have some too.
Yeah,
I do too, and I'm not sure what it is, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. It just might be Substack because Substack sometimes acts crazy. I know somebody
Yeah.
was having issues yesterday with it, with like syncing up. So hopefully it'll be fine. I don't hear it now. Did you go on mute?
No, I took the volume down a little, so
Sounds a little bit better.
It
okay.
sounds better. Hold on. Maybe I should turn my volume down too, just in case.
All right, let's see. Yeah, that sounds better. From my-
Okay.
So, there's a couple of things. I made a video about redistricting earlier in the week. Well, that was last week that I made a video about redistricting. We knew this was going to happen. Like I said, I'm proud of them for leaving the state, doing what they needed to do, fighting, as my dad say, fighting fire with fire, and being able
Match
to
that
show
energy.
Democrats actually have a backbone and that we're not going to just let them walk all over us. I think that's the most important thing. I think that changes people's perception of what this party looks like and acts like, because for far too long, as Kathy Hochul said yesterday in our interview on the weekend, we play by the rules. Democrats play by the rules. And that has not, and while that is the right thing to do, it is not always beneficial to us, right? We will not break the rules because our value system is to follow rules. But now we are at a point where we have Gavin Newsom like, nah, we're gonna break the rules. I don't care. So sometimes you need a cheerleader like a Gavin Newsom who doesn't give a damn and is like, you know what, guys, we're gonna do this. And then he got other people to join in on this, right? So he kind of started it off, and that gets like a domino effect. So now you have Kathy Hochul like, listen, knuck if you buck. If you wanna do this, I can do this too. And I don't want to do this, but if you push me, it's like literally the whole song, the whole knuck if you buck song. Like, if you push me, then I'm gonna throw these bows, right? So this is Kathy talking yesterday, and she's literally saying this on the show, and I appreciate that because you know what? I want to see governors fighting. I want to see we don't have many like checks and balances at this point, right? The Congress can't really do anything like the Senate and the House can't really do, but the governors and the state legislators are our check on these people. So if you guys want to be reckless and do this, then we can counter this and use our maps to be able to change our congressional map as well. So JB Pritzker, he's loaded. He has massive money. He's the part of the Hyatt family. He said, okay, well, I can house these people, so we got to use our resources to be able to kind of facilitate. I saw Zach did an interview today with one of the Texas legislators. I think her name is Hinosa. And they only get paid $7,200 for the year. That is absurd. Okay. In Maryland, they get paid about $54,000. It's part-time. Our sessions only run from January until May-ish, April.
That's kind of how ours is.
Yeah. So it's not a full-time job, and they still have their other jobs that they work, in between session. These people are getting paid $7,200 to deal with this bullshit. So they probably spend more money on their campaigns than they actually do getting paid to do public service for the people of Texas. That also lends to the question why a lot of people don't run, right? I mean, a lot of people don't run for office because they don't get paid to do these jobs. And I think I was watching something yesterday, and the woman was like, "Listen, I still have to service my constituents, even if I am not like in session." So she's always working, but she's only getting paid I looked up the schedule of like all the places where people get paid. New York gets paid the most. They get paid over $100,000. Same with Pennsylvania. I mean, this is a full-time job for them. And they're getting paid an actual living wage. I mean, $7,200 ain't no damn living wage. That's like beyond, it says like $200 like per session. That's ridiculous. So you see how people are responding. They're leaving their families. They're going away. They don't know how long they're going to be gone. When they're going to come back. So I respect that about them because that is a difficult thing to do. And we're going to see where it lands. I know there's a certain time frame that they have to kind of they keep, and of course Republicans keep holding, like they're trying to have a quorum. So that's what they're trying to avoid. So people don't know they're trying to avoid a quorum, which means that they need a certain amount of legislators in the chamber to be able to start the legislative process.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, they cannot move forward. And so this is where we are. My question is, at what point does it get real, right? Because we see that we have idiots like Kash Patel and John Cornyn who are saying they want to send the FBI after these people. Like there's literally terrorists running around these streets, and y'all are talking about going to collect people that are housed. They have bomb threats, right?
It's giving slavery.
It's giving
slave capture
patrol.
is what it's
Yeah,
giving.
it's giving slave patrol. And
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm.
So we are going back. We've been talking about this for a while, Ms. D. We're going backwards, not forward. And this is where we are. So it's really annoying to think about because we didn't have to be here. We shouldn't have to be here, but we are.
Yeah.
And we are. Exactly. And the fact that they are now emboldened with the big ugly bill, that budget, they can put money basically into policing, like making us really a police state. And that's very alarming because I mean it's not the first time in this country, and we need to, be aware of, how that's rolling out, what it looks like today. But it's not new. None of the crap they're doing is new. It's just, being reintroduced.
It's the remix, baby.
But I just wish people had paid attention during the election. I mean, all of this shit was in Project 2025, you guys. We were screaming it from the rooftop, screaming it as loud as people can hear it. But they didn't give a damn. Oh, I'm going to be fine. Oh, this isn't going to affect me. Oh, this is nothing. Oh, you guys are just fear-mongering. You just want me to show
Yeah,
up.
I was called an alarmist.
I'm sick of it. I am sick. Part of it is also with all the things that this like the way that they're moving at such a high rate when it comes to this, the aggressiveness is very exhausting. And I think the goal is to exhaust us by hitting us with so much bullshit all at once. And
we're exhausted. we
are. And that's why you have to be intentional about like where you focus your energy and your attention, because they are trying to deluge us as Madam VP said, it's high velocity, just a fire hose, a flood of just, really harmful shit coming at us 24/7. And we have to remain safe, but we also have to remain focused and continue, fighting. And so it's really important to have fighters like you guys, like us and others, and to amplify those that are fighting. So I'm really happy to see the Dems, fighting, and people can see that they're fighting. But as you said, we have to look at where they're going, because I think a lot of times the news gets caught up in one story or whatever, and people are not able to like kind of see where the big picture and where they're going, what their goal is, because these camps are expanding, of course. Now they literally are putting one of these concentration camps on a base in Texas, and they're calling it Camp
on a military
Bliss.
base?
On a military base at Fort Bliss in Texas is now building a detention center, a concentration camp.
Active military base.
On an active military base.
Oh,
you hear me?
God, see, more exhaustion.
You hear me? And they've already taken land along the southern border, and taken it by what is that, eminent domain or whatever, and they've taken a lot of that land and put it all under a military base in California. But the goal, or what the purpose is to declare all of that federal land. So then they can involve the military in helping police the border. I mean, like it's
He
crazy.
said that he would do this. He said that he
Hmm.
would deploy the military to go after U.S. citizens. All of this has been said. Everything that's basically been laid out is just happening. And we're only we're 8, not even really, we're 7 months in, you guys. Almost 8.
Hmm.
And this is like, just call it what it is. These are concentration camps that they're building.
Yes,
That's
they
exactly what they're doing.
absolutely. Yeah, they absolutely are. And, I spent, most of the people who are kind of in my community and have been around me know, I think Tiff lost connection, but she should be coming back. But I spent 10 years in Germany, Kenny. I visited multiple concentration camps. I also, studied the kind of the history, and I have German friends who have told me the history, friends who had grandparents and stuff who were part of the World War II, the Nazi takeover. And I don't get that people don't see the connection of where we're headed, where they're trying to drag us. And it seems like people are willingly, walking into this, cheering it, applauding it. It's nuts to me. I don't understand that. And I, like I said, just want to keep people abreast, which is why I'm really always trying to uplift voices like yours and Tiff's and Zach's and others who are sounding the alarm, who are bringing attention to the important issues, because of course we know mainstream media, whatever, it's pretty
Yes,
much
God.
broken. Like, we're it. Citizen journalists. You guys are
Exactly.
doing the job. And I love what you're doing. And when Tiff comes back, but I know that you guys do a live on YouTube weekly, and you're working on creating a channel. So keep me posted on that so that we can make sure everybody knows, because we have to build our own networks of information, because now, they're defunding NPR, PBS.
Mhm. We lost the
So,
Daily Show. I mean, we're losing. We're losing all of the things that was keeping people educated and doing it in a way that's unbiased. So it just is what it is. As far as lamestream media, like it will always be Fox, CNN, and MSNBC for me, and Fox News. But you already know that goes without saying. Okay,
right.
faux news, I don't fuck with it. But as far as what we're trying to build as our platform, it's called the Big Three. We go live every Wednesday. We just weren't able to go live this Wednesday because Zach is out of town. So he wasn't able to do it. He does all of, the admin work, all of the extra stuff behind the scenes with our visuals. So me and Tiff, we're not there yet. We'll get there, but not yet. So, we go live and we talk about everything that's happened politically that week. We give a raw and uncut full take. We go deep dive into everything political, everything that has something to do with that subject of whatever that matter is of that week. And we just give it to you. I think the problem, and I think that's why it's so important for most of us, particularly me, Tiff, and Zach, is we're regular, degular, schmegular folks who just decided to use their platform and turn this camera on and give and deliver the news to the people, because we are the people. We have more at stake than most of these pundits on national TV, because they're completely out of touch. They don't know what it's like being concerned whether you're going to be able to afford to pay your light bill or be able to have Medicaid or have your benefits. These people have no idea. They're completely just out of the zone, out of touch. They have no idea what everyday Americans are feeling. So that's why it's important for us to use our platform to actually voice what a lot of us are feeling. A lot of us don't have the ability to say, or don't have a platform to say it on. So we say it on ours. And hopefully you guys can tune in. We're live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I have really enjoyed it. And I think we need more, opportunities, more nodes on the information infrastructure. Because as you said, like, having the voice of the people, so that you can, tell them how things are affecting you. This is not you're not a politician. This is, you are a regular person who is being affected by the policies that are occurring, but you are a regular person who is well informed. And that is another thing where I am trying to get people to understand that actually being well informed is an act of resistance, especially when they're working so hard to take that information away from us. Did y'all see the thing where they are toying around with the online version of the Constitution?
Child, I
Yeah.
saw that they snatched some pieces off. I'm like, well, Lord Jesus. And this is the reason why Lauren Underwood, when we did this like creator like circle or whatever, she actually gave us all a copy of the Constitution, and I have it somewhere near me. But yes, she actually gave us a full copy because remember, the day that he was inaugurated, the on the White House website they had completely removed the Constitution, which was interesting. They're doing a lot of these things. They want to keep us. Trump always said that he loved the uneducated. Why do you think they're dismantling the Department of Education? All of this is a plan. All of it, they want you to be dumb. They love that you're stupid. Don't be
Easy to
stupid. Go
manipulate
on
and
Google. It's
control.
free. It's free and it's readily available. If you have a question, you got a computer in your hand right now that you can go verify your sources, verify anything that you're reading, because don't always believe the first thing that you see.
Absolutely. Your take, Tiff, because I was just like, I'm not surprised, but this again is why we have to stay informed. And I got my pocket constitution. I got it from the VA. So yes, everybody get yours.
Well, we know their goal. I mean, look at the Department of Education, what they're doing with that. They want to keep people like not informed. They want to keep
Right.
people, as some people get mad at me for saying, stupid, right? They
Mhm.
want to keep people they want to spread misinformation, and they don't want people to verify that. I mean, and it's also like this conspiracy thing. Like there's like a lot of people who believe in conspiracy theories, and it's not just the right wing. There's
Right.
people on the left that are just as conspiratorial as people on the right.
Yes,
Like
God.
yesterday, it's crazy. So yesterday I was scrolling on my timeline, and I saw that there was a video of Mamdani, and there was a person at his press conference that like fainted. And people in the comments were, and he was trying to help. He was like fanning the person, doing the humanitarian thing that if somebody faints, which is a very scary thing when somebody faints. Have you ever seen somebody faint in front of you? It is very scary, right? And mind you, this is concrete in New York on the ground, and he's trying to help the person. And people are in the comments, and they're like, "Oh, it was staged. It's a stunt." I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like we are at a point where people believe lies, but they can't see truth. And I don't know how we fix that as content creators. I don't know how we fix that as just humans, that people just cannot see something human and say, "Oh, that was a really nice thing that the person." They have to come up with some kind of theory on why someone is doing something, or they have to find some negativity in something. So it's not just information wise, it's also thought process, right? What people are thinking and how they're thinking about politics. And that right there just made me so mad, because I'm like, we can't even have like discussions about politics without people throwing their conspiracies in it. People thinking that someone is trying. Think about all the things that they literally thought Kamala was trying to harm people. Like they believe that she, that she, all these lies that they were saying, and not no one, like, and he said there's literally a phone in your hand. There's Chat GPT, there's Perplexity, there's Google, there is Grok. There's all kinds of stuff that is at the palm of your hand that you can use to just verify stuff. And you don't even have to think. It will think for you, and it will tell you that this is true or false. And yet people still believe what they want to believe about certain people. And it's frustrating, but yet they will believe Donald Trump's everlasting word.
Like their
And Bernie
brains.
Sanders too.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
It's called confirmation bias. When you have an implicit bias or a complicit perceived notion of somebody, you believe the first thing that you see. It's part of misogyny, misogynoir, racism, bigotry. All of that's rooted in prejudice. So when we're looking at what happens in politics, what Trump was able to do was he was able to prey on people's prejudice and perceive notions of
embolden
immigrants,
them.
blacks, people who rely on social services. He was able to prey on all of these things because we've had these preconceived notions of what we believe people are rather than actually talking to them. You know, part of learning is also exposing yourself to people who don't think like you, people who don't believe the things that you do, people who don't love the way that you love, people who don't even worship the same God that you do. It's free to open yourself to other people's cultures and experiences. So that way you can have a better understanding and a well-rounded view of the world that we live in.
Absolutely. And yes, High Five, one of my friends in there, he said it's a weapon, that division, those old stereotypes that they are using, they are not new, and it's meant and used to keep us, divided, so that we're kind of fighting with each other to keep information away from us, so that lies start to get internalized as truths and as facts, and people are operating off of that. And also, like just keeping us uninformed and sick, and it's so easy to manipulate people like that. Like, it's very disturbing to me, as a mother and now a grandmother, that vaccines are just kind of like a
I was
thing of the
thinking about
past.
vaccines too.
I mean, the brain worms. Can we talk about it? I mean, just like Jesus.
Like, first of all, I'm not taking any advice from a man who obviously refuses to do the simple thing to get that voice fixed. Okay. Every time I hear him, I just have to pop in a halls because I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear RFK. I do not want to hear somebody who would rather than getting a vaccine. He trusted a damn heroin needle in his goddamn arm, but he couldn't trust the vaccine. That's the second thing. I don't fuck with him at all. And all
No
of
one
this,
does.
and honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know where all of this stems from? All from the fact that he was silenced by Biden when he was spreading conspiracy theories on
Mhm.
COVID the first fucking time. When he said that, I think it was a famous baseball player. He said that this person died because of the vaccine when that wasn't even the case. The person just died of old age. So it's just insanity. Imagine you be so upset at President Joe Biden because somebody fact checked you and told you that you're a liar. So you'd made it an entire vendetta to go completely against your own party. I'm talking about a party where you literally even grew your fucking name from. You decide I'm going to go and join the right wingers because this person hurt my feelings.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Elon. Elon, where are you? Are you in the room right now?
Oh Lord.
Same thing. Same thing. He was pissed that Joe Biden didn't invite him to the AI event, and he got mad. So these people all have vendettas against Joe Biden, against Kamala Harris. It's like all of this comes down to revenge kind of stuff, but also it's like the whole announcement this week about the mRNA and how, they're basically not going to, I guess, fund it, the research on it. And I, I just think, where would we be if we didn't have that mRNA COVID vaccine, right? I mean, we had people dying nonstop for so long. And this was 4 years. I mean, think about it. That's like 2000, not even 2000. This is 2001 when we got the vaccine. So this is 4 years ago at this time. People were starting to get vaccines and starting to feel like they could go outside again and do stuff. And I was thinking about it because this week is my niece's first birthday, and during my nephew was born in January of 2020. So I saw him right before, literally the first day that somebody died of COVID, I was headed to New York to see him. It was also the day of the South Carolina primary, but that's nonetheless.
That was a good day, wasn't it?
It was a great day. It was a wonderful day. I got to see my nephew.
A
It was all
twofer.
great. Some person died, right? But I didn't get, that was the only time that I saw my nephew until he was about a year and a half. I mean, if we didn't have technology like FaceTime and things like that, like the kids know how to use FaceTime now. Like they know the phone rings, they're like ready to talk in the phone. So I'm just, like we become conditioned to this. But if we didn't have vaccines, we may all be dead at this point because that's where we were heading. So if there was anything that Trump did actually positive was to help create that vaccine. And now they're like, oh no, we're not even going to bother to be funding. Like, it doesn't make logical sense because we know we are one pandemic away from having another situation with another virus. And it doesn't make sense. But this is the people that he put into, that he nominated. But I blame the Senate. The Senate confirmed this man. These people in the Senate confirmed this man. Tom Tillis, you're leaving. You helped to confirm this man. You are responsible for this. I mean, what's the one from the guy, is Cassidy? I think the guy from he's a doctor.
Exactly.
He should know better. But it just seems like and the same thing. I saw somebody talking about Tulsi. It's the same kind of thing. She has beef with Biden too. Like, what are we even like?
She got beef with Kamala. She got beef with Democrats. She got a beef with Obama. She got a beef with everybody. She got beef with the gays. She got beef with Hawaii. She got beef with everything.
Toenails, all of it. Okay.
She got beef with skincare because she refuses to do anything.
For short them holes, spray the face.
Okay, she's got beef with exfoliants. She's got beef with sunscreen. She's got just so much. Tulsi.
Hair dye.
Literally, our government is being ran by people, just vengeful people. I mean, and he ran on a thing of retribution. So, quite frankly, are we really surprised that they are taking revenge on us? You know,
but it's just like, I don't know what this mentality is. Do y'all remember the day of the election when what was it? Dude under Oprah, I can't think of it, Dr. Phil. Remember, he said that he went and supported Trump because Kamala didn't and agreed to have him at a rally. These people are fucking
This is how
cynical.
These people think.
These people are fucking insane. That they would literally, because they didn't get what they want, and this also goes to why I don't fuck with Charlamagne God as well. But because they didn't get the access they thought they deserved, these people decided, hey, I'm going to go on the other side, even though I may not necessarily agree with it. I'm going to go on the other side because this other side is nice to me. Talk to me nice.
It's the same thing with the Palestine, with the pro-Palestine people. They were mad that they didn't get
look at the aerial pictures of Gaza now. Like,
horrible.
I think I responded to your post or something, to someone's, where literally, like, they were so married to their desire for the perfect, like all these demands being met, that they totally missed out on any potential good. And now this is where they are. Like, Bibi
I just feel disgusting.
Is taking over Gaza.
I feel so bad for the people of Gaza. I mean, as far as like the main issue that I've had with the whole pro-Pal movement in America, not just be very clear here, in America, is that their advocacy was louder than the voices of the people they were supposed to advocate for. And that's my problem. That even the people of Gaza, because I think it came from, I think it was Al Jazeera or something like that. They did Al Monitor, I think. They did a poll, and the people of Gaza wanted Kamala to win. Wow. They wanted Kamala. They said that they would feel more safer under a Kamala presidency than a Donald Trump presidency. And it's strange to me that you guys decided that, hey, I would rather stay at home or vote for Donald Trump, particularly the people of Dearborn. And you pretty much signed the death certificate of your own people. And it's just an unfortunate fact because you don't know anything about harm reduction. As a Black person living in America, everything we do is harm reduction. We're always pragmatic. Have to weigh out our options because we understand that more than likely, nobody's going to be perfect. And this person has the ability to do great good, but also great harm. But who's going to do the less harm to me and my community? And it just speaks from a place of privilege. I feel like a lot of people are finding out what Black people have always been saying is true.
Absolutely. And we're gonna go back to the flat asses tip that you were talking about because I saw Mace and it was just bizarre. Like this interview with her, someone asked her about something, and instead of answering the question, she went on this crazy psycho tirade about kind of like in the same vein as Trump. How dare you? You're
She
stupid or what?
remixed it. She flipped it on the person.
Yes, like there's going to be a conservative female president. Like, in what world are you living when these people are embracing white Christian nationalism that don't even think women should have the right to vote? Like, make
Come
it
on.
make sense.
Like, ma'am, you're not even going to be voted in as governor, so you're not even going to win your primary. So let's not even go there. I just like she is one of the worst perpetrators of what we're talking about because she will take anything. Remember, this is not the first time she's done this. There was a time when she was in Ulta and that guy was like asked her a question like, why didn't you come to town halls? And then she was like, he harassed me. So everything is like harassment. She told the reporter that she was a radical leftist. Mind you, this is a reporter who is supposed to be biased. She just literally asked her a basic question and she flipped on her. And this is the kind of stuff that really just irks my nerves because a Democrat could never get away with that. Literally, I have to read articles from the union, the Teamsters union with this Sean O'Brien, who's mad that Kamala basically, to me, the way I read it is Kamala made a joke. The woman was on the line to take a picture with her. She said like something like you better endorse me or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a joke. And she ran back and told Karen, of course, ran back and told Sean O'Brien. And Sean O'Brien is like, how dare she? Like, this is the kind of stupidity that we as people of color, Black people, have to deal with microaggressions. You can't take a joke. They talk about us like we're always so sensitive. No, y'all are sensitive. Y'all are mad. Kamala told them, I guess in the meeting that she had with them, she was like, listen, we're going to move. This campaign is going to move on with or without you. So she kept it real with them and they didn't like it. They didn't like it. So it's like you can't, but yet we have Nancy Mace who can say whatever she wants out of her freaking flat ass, and we have to just take it because the media is not going to harp on it. They don't harp on. I mean, literally, Trump is on the roof of the White House the other day.
He didn't
And no
jump,
one is like, oh my
unfortunately.
God, does he have dementia? Is something wrong? He literally tore up the whole rose garden. It looks like Shady Pines out there. Like the rose, like there's not a garden anymore. It's a freaking patio with some umbrellas.
So he's trying to bring Mar-a-Lago to D.C. Now, his first session, he called it the Southern White House. Well, why don't you just go down to the Southern White House? But now he's trying to make the White House, the real White House, like his Mar-a-Lago retreat. Like, that is so disgusting what he's doing. And a ballroom. Who needs a ballroom? All that
200
They're
what was
supposed to
it?
be spending,
250?
500 million on that?
Yeah, something crazy like that. Doesn't need
Yeah,
money.
but you want to
But we
talk
can't
about
afford Medicaid.
yeah, fraud, waste, and abuse. So people don't need money for health care or all these other essentials in life, but the people need a ballroom. Like, make that make sense. It's
how about
crazy.
all the gold disgustingness in the Oval Office? Or what? Like, what is that? Like, all these ornamentation, like I don't know, like you call them like ornaments.
Gold.
I guess they're like
Fun.
all on the wall. He
Yeah,
has
little
like that little
accents.
angel look. Like I said, that's the Temu Versailles. Like this is. I mean, like it's so absurd at this point. But can you imagine if Biden did something like that? These people would lose their mind. But why does Trump get away with it? That's the part that I don't understand.
Because
Why
he's
isn't
racist. He's a white
Why?
supremacist.
but
That's
That's why.
why does the media continue to not like Jake Tapper did a whole thing about Biden having like their whole cover up. Meanwhile, Trump has a cover up of Epstein files. Like and like the media's like dancing around it and not even like even, they're covering it, but they're covering it because they think there's something more salacious in it, like Bill Clinton or something. So they're into it. But they're not into it because of Trump. They're into it because of they want some tea from it. And they literally moved
But
the
they don't have
lady,
the same
the
energy.
Ghislaine Maxwell lady, to like a camp versus being in like a prison. Like, all of this stuff is just, like I said, it's meant to exhaust us. And I don't think that anyone has, and it was 1.0 was the same thing, right? They threw everything at us to try to exhaust us. But we've been here and we've done this before, so we know to like kind of pump the brakes and not get too animated about it. But when you think about everything in the last 7 months, and it feels like 7 years, it's pretty exhausting. And the question is, how do we move forward? And what does that look like? Because there has to be some type of positivity as we move forward, but there's just so much negative energy that's coming from DC, from Texas, from all these places. And it feels like people are just punching us in the face. And not only just Republicans, it feels like the left is punching us too,
Yeah.
because they're constantly bitching and complaining about something.
Exactly. And that is one of the reasons why I harp continually on unity. Like, some of them get on my nerves or whatever, but I understand, like, we need y'all to get some sense, to, like, to understand what is happening. I'm not trying to convince any MAGAs or whatever, but I really do want to convince the people who could not be bothered to get out of their house and go vote at all. I really want to give a lot of attention and focus to them. And I really, I want to kind of, the folks who are constantly bashing the Dems, like, they're not perfect, no. But right now, they are the only vehicle we have to stave off total, a total dictatorship. Okay,
Exactly.
that's it. So again, are we going to let the desire for perfect be the enemy of good and have us all in chains and concentration camps? I mean,
Yeah,
really,
that's
that's
where
where
we're
we are.
heading. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think somebody asked, like, how do we win? And I don't have the answer to that question, because to me all politics is local, right? We have to start at the local level. And we know that in 2026, we have basically local elections going to happen, right? Whether it's mayor, whether it's governor, we have a governor's race in our state. We have all of our legislators are up for reelection in 2026. So they're starting to do events and things like get involved in your local government so that you can make a difference there. Because all of this national stuff, we can't fix Congress until and think about it. Every district is local, right? I mean, the people that are living in Kenny, the person that is Kenny's person in Congress is not my person. But they all work together, and I know his rep, he knows mine, and they all work in the same chamber, whether it's Congress or in the legislature. We have to be able to help those people to win. It's not something that we're used to doing because we're used to helping on a national level. We think about the presidency, we think about the Senate. Those are where we've concentrated our, content, and where we've concentrated where our focus is. But this year and next year is really going to be about local elections and helping the people in our states to be able to win. There is a ton. I was watching, and we said we were going to talk about it. I watched the interview with Jamie Harrison and Andy Bashir, which was fantastic. I highly recommend it to everybody to watch it.
Mhm.
Andy Bashir is now going to be over the Democratic Governors Association, which is, the acronym is DGA.
Mhm.
And there are about 30 seats that need to be held. Like, they need to win these races back. And of course, my governor is one of them, which is Wes Moore. And we have races. There's a race in D State, which Marsha Blackburn just jumped in, which is a cool.
Lord,
So
I'm gonna
we
need
have
y'all's
all
help.
Josh Shapiro. Yeah, some of the good mayors. I mean, some of the good governors that we like. Josh Shapiro is up for reelection. Andy Bashir is, he's like termed out at some point, but he's going to be helping to win these races. You also have Gretchen Whitmer, who is termed out, and somebody's going to have to replace her. And we have races all over this country. And we in New York, I mean, that's a big one, right? We need to make sure
Right.
Kathy Hochul gets reelected. So there's a lot happening that we cannot just focus on Trump, Trump, Trump. There's more to this, more to politics than just national politics. We need to start focusing on our local races, our governor races, our state races, and get involved on that level. And that's something that I focused on, and I think a lot of other people should do that as well. So
I applaud
that's
you
one
on.
way. But as far as and like I told Dee, I said watch that interview because I want to get your thoughts on it. And I like Andy Bashir. I think he's a good guy. Like I just think he's like he'll talk a lot about faith and politics and kind of how he got into politics. He's like he's funny because he's like so dry. He's like dry as hell.
He's
But
authentic.
but he's authentic to being dry, right? I mean, some people just are. And he was like, he was saying how he got into politics. Like his dad obviously was a politician, but he said, I ran for everything when I was in high school and I lost. Like if there was 3 people, I came in 5th. Like it was that bad. So he was real about it. But I think one of the things that he kind of talked about was kind of how they put pressure. And I'm gonna post the video in a little bit about how the media put pressure on VP to roll out policy. Like they didn't even give her time to get policy out. It was like she jumped in on Tuesday or Sunday, and by the next week they were like, "What's your economic policy?" Like there was no time to marinate
What's
any
your
of that, right?
platform?
So as we get through to 2028, I don't know what VP's gonna do. I don't. And Andy said it. I love what he said. He was like, "Listen, if there's somebody that's better than me, I will gladly bow out and I will keep it moving and I will help that person win." So I'm assuming that's he was talking about VP, right? If she jumps in, he's gonna like fall back. But
Yeah.
I thought the interview was really good. It was also, it was kind of like Westmore was the week before, then it was Andy. I love that Andy said that him and Wes are really good friends. I knew that already because I've seen the pictures, and of course I just be knowing stuff. But I was like, that made me like think a little bit, like, what if, you know what I mean? Like that would be a good tandem. I just thought the interview was really good, and I'm glad that we have a bench of people that are good because I'm tired of kind of like the same old people, like the 2020 people. Kind of like I'm over it a little bit, like.
Played out kind
Like
of.
I
Yeah.
like Pete, but come on, like he's Pete. Like
He's
I
got to
mean,
hang
let's
it
keep
up.
it real.
He
Like
ain't
there's
answer the
other
questions like he
people
used to.
like Beto. I see him out there. Like, dude, you lost like 5 times. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I want new people. I want new kind of like I'm happy to have a primary and we can go through the whole motions of that. But I want the people that kind of like sucked out the oxygen of 2020 to kind of like be over there, and we need like new people to kind of energize this part, even if it's VP. She deserves more than 107 freaking days. Like, let's be real.
I agree. And
You sounding like David Hogg there, Tiff.
Why?
Come on. But Tiff went right where I wanted to, and I'm gonna give you a chance to chime in on that as well, Kenny. But I love that interview, and one of the things that I liked about it, because I'm familiar with Andy because we're a neighboring state, and I
Okay.
have people who live in Kentucky. And he is a person who understands the importance of connecting with the people. Like there's a lot of red areas in Kentucky. I mean, basically his legislature is red, but he knows how to work with them. He is a man who, he expresses empathy. He understands that he's an empathetic person. He's passionate and fiery when need to be. And I'm going to give you an example. We had the school mass shooting here in Tennessee, the Covenant school shooting. It took our governor 3 days to make a public announcement to say anything about it. Now, mind you, one of the people that was killed was like the vice principal or something like that at the school, a friend of his wife, literally scheduled to have dinner with her the day she was killed. That night, she was supposed to be having dinner with him. And this man nor his wife said anything. But Andy Bashir, honey, he came out. He came out. And not long after that, there was a shooting in Kentucky, and it was targeting a bank or some financial institution. And unfortunately, one of the people killed was a friend of his. And, you know, of course, the police was telling everybody, stay away, stay away. Andy was like, no, he ran to it. He was like, you ain't getting me out of here. I'm the governor. This is my friend. And I love, like I said, just the authenticity that he has, the compassion that he has. He understands what it's like working in a state where a lot of them are, you know, conservative. But he understands that sometimes, you know, our needs meet, you know, they want these things and stuff too. It's a matter of helping them to understand that, like, I'm here to meet your needs no matter whether I'm a Democrat or whatever. So I love him and I love these interviews. I think what Jamie is doing is super important because I feel like he's having a conversation that they don't get to have and share these things when they're being platformed on, you know, these cable news shows and things like that. And I think it's very important for people to see Democratic leaders in this light and to have these kind of more drawn out conversations. So I advise anyone to go watch it, subscribe to Jamie's podcast. It's really great. And I'm getting a lot of great feedback. People I've told about it, that someone last night said, I'm so glad you suggested that. I've told about 11 people. I was like, okay, Jamie, I want my check.
Exactly. I want mine
Ain't
too,
no such
because I'm
thing as
always
free
posting
promo.
videos. I'm always posting
Exactly.
clips. But I'd like to your point, I think we need positivity. So to me, that is a positive platform. Hunter was great. I mean, the four guests that he's had so far was Tim Walz, he had Hunter, he had Westmore, and he had Andy Bashir, which was so funny because when he posted the Hunter one, I was like, I need you to, and I didn't even know he had interviewed them. I said, I need you to interview my two favorite people, which would be Westmore and Andy Bashir. And he was like, those are the next two people on my podcast. I was like, okay, that's so weird. That is so strange. But
Y'all were in sync.
we were definitely in sync. So now I'm gonna start. And now I'm like, I'm just gonna start making requests like every week of who I want and see if it actually happens. But I just think it's a good platform for people. I know people have issues with Jamie. I like Jamie. I think he's a good guy. People be hating on him, and I'm like, they're
Hey,
like,
I think he did an excellent job. He allowed the first time for content creators because they were fighting for a long time to just get us a seat at the table and trying to move away from traditional media. And he got so much hell and pushback for it. And I'll never forget the shit show that we had to deal with at the DNC from actual mainstream media and them trying to sneak into our creator lounge. I will never forget the bullshit. Okay. They were trying to see what y'all got in there. As if
they was
y'all didn't
mad. They
have
were
your
mad
own
y'all had
VIP.
steak
Like,
and
what
went
the
on a boat
fuck?
ride.
It was
They were
wild.
so furious. I was laughing. I was eating it up. But see, this is what he recognized that need. And I love that they tapped into that because that's what a lot of these people who have been in politics for a while don't understand. The game has changed. They're still fighting this old fashioned kind of political fight. This is a new fight, baby. And what we're fighting actually is an information war. And so you got to come out with different tools. And content creators definitely need to be a part of that mix. It's critical because in part it's so easy to see that is how the right wing uh, blasts their message through all these crazy podcasters. They can be crazy or whatever, but they're getting their message out. And the Democrats need to up their game on the information infrastructure because I keep saying it's not their message, it's not their messengers, it's their distribution flow that is the problem.
That is exactly what it is. And you're so right. Because Myron had a good post yesterday and he shouted me and Kenny out. So I don't know if you saw Kenny, but he basically said that why doesn't the DNC and Democrats and Congress people,
I
period,
did.
just
He was on TikTok, right?
yeah, it was on TikTok.
Yeah, I
Why
saw.
don't they have like rapid response? Like Gavin, I gotta give Gavin credit. I swear the person who's running me and Gwen laughed because I'm like, this is a black person that runs this account. I know it's on TikTok because the music, the like the things that they say, I'm like, yeah, no, this is definitely a black person. I'm like, but while it's under his name, you could tell, there's somebody behind that account. I mean, we all know that, right? There's not, it's not, typically it's not the person. Now, Jasmine, I think she does her own tweets. Some people, Rokana does his, Lord knows, he does his own tweets. like there's like some of these Congress people, they do their own stuff. They don't have someone running their account, but typically governors do have someone running their accounts. They may have some feedback, they may watch it, they may see it themselves, but they have someone responding on their behalf. But what I see is, again, the governors fighting, right? The governors are out there, their teams are doing the goddamn work. And they understand that, like you said, the distribution, the game that we are playing. This is not your typical. But then you have like some of the like Chuck Schumer, who I don't know what the hell his team is doing. They're in La La Land. They're like way behind. They're in Jurassic Park ages. Like, I don't know what the hell y'all are doing.
They're waiting for mainstream media to invite them on so they can tell them about their policy or whatever. And I love that Andy understands, like, people don't care about your policy until it's like that old adage. They don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And that's how you have to connect to people. And
yeah, I think that was a good point. That was a good point he made in that podcast, because he said he was talking about like something that Biden had done, right? Of course, they passed like the infrastructure bill. But he said people don't care about the bill signing. They care about the ribbon cutting. So when they see that ribbon cutting, that means that the project is done, and that actually shows how that impacts them. So he was talking about like one of the small towns that was in Kentucky that had like maybe like they opened like a factory of like, I don't know, it's like
some
a
green
paper factory.
energy, green projects that he was doing.
Yeah, so they opened like this factory. It was like I want to say a paper mill or something, and it was like people were making $40 an hour. Now in Kentucky, that's probably like you're rich at that point, right?
Money.
So it was like it employed like 200 people in this small town, and
that used to be a coal mining town,
right?
Like that used to be the.
And so he was saying, when we broke that ribbon, those people saw the results. Now, this money came as a result of this bill that was passed, but people don't put those things together, right? They care about the result, not the implementation or the passing of the bill. So I think he made a really good connection on kind of what during the Biden administration, we did a lot of good things, but people didn't get to see the results to say, oh, yeah, this came as I mean, of course, like there was other things, obviously the checks and things like that, which they need to get credit for. Fucking Trump did. But just the infrastructure stuff, right? There's tons of road work being done. Who's getting credit for that? Because that came from Democrats. Like we did
Trump
that.
is slapping his name up around these projects.
Nancy Mace, hello. That's what she was trying to. That's what the person was saying. You didn't help pass that bill. Yeah, you're taking credit for it. So these are kind of things that I thought that was a really good point that you made, Dee, about the results. We need results, but sometimes these things take so long. And then he also talked about like another project that I think it was part of the IRA, where they did the bill and they gave like money for something, but then they put like all these regulations on top of it.
Oh, yes.
And so it just kind of held up the whole project. And so you did something really great, but then you made it harder to be able to complete the project. We have to start making things easier. We have to start making and then that's like that.
We gotta just connect the dots for the people so they can understand why and where and how.
Right, and because people blame Democrats like, oh, you didn't do any. Kenny, we fight with people all day long. The Biden administration didn't do this. I'm like, dude, the Biden administration did half the things that you think we did that they didn't do. I literally had to explain about the $15 minimum wage and why that didn't pass the other day. And I'm like, I can't believe 4 years later, I'm having to explain this to you fools about why this didn't pass. It's a numbers game. Math has to math. You needed 60 votes to overturn the parliamentarian. Oh, you could have just fired the parliamentarian. And then what? You fired the parliamentarian and you still didn't have the votes to overrule anything. Or you didn't have the votes to even pass it in the first place, because Joe Manchin and stupid Sinema was never going to agree with it. So it's just the civics part of it, and the math part drives me insane. No, we lost Kenny.
I know, Don. I was just going to get his input on that, but I am
hopefully he
so
could drive back. Yeah, it said he had issues with the internet.
Okay, yeah, I'll redo his thing, like get him back here. But yeah, because I'm loving this. So if we can go a little bit longer today, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Thank all of you for joining us. Throw us up some hearts, give us some love. Make sure that you are following Kenny and Tiff here on Substack. Of course, you can find them on all the other platforms and things too. And when you were out before, Kenny talked about your platform that you're building over on YouTube. You all have
Yep.
your separate channels, but he and Zach are really building something beautiful there. And I want people to, help support your podcast there, because I think it is so essential. Again, us putting another node on that information infrastructure is key, you know. And I appreciate the work that you guys do, because I mean, there are a lot of content creators, but what I love about you guys is that, yes, Kimmy, of course, is hilarious, but you all make sure you have receipts, information. Like, you're not just trying to be popular or to go viral. You're trying to provide information, and you all have your various different approaches, but it's so key and vital in this time. It's critical. So I do think that they need to hire some of you guys, or create a rapid response, team or
Yeah, I
something
mean,
that
like
you
I,
guys.
like I said in my video last night, like I don't even care if you hire. I don't want to be hired. I have a day job. Like I don't need to be hired. But I think just talking to us, just talking and kind of
Yes.
getting an idea of like, where do you guys get your information from? Like, what do you like? How do you find this stuff? Because how do we, as content creators, see the information before y'all? Y'all are doing this. Y'all are getting paid to do this. Like y'all work for the DNC. You work for these congressional, these Congress people. There should be somebody to have like notifications on. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
notifications that are telling them, just like I have notifications for CNN, for MSNBC, all these different channels to tell me the news that is coming out for the day. And there should be some kind of way to like respond to that. I mean, I do work with a lot of people, so of course I don't publicize that. I mean, I don't work with them, but I help a lot of congressional people
Right.
to be able to like, message things that they can't message. I mean, let's be real. There's things that they can't say on their accounts. So sometimes they're like, "Hey, can you like help me out with this?" And I'm like, "Sure, I don't mind doing that." But that I would rather you talk to me and ask me my thoughts on it, or let me be my authentic self and respond to it, and maybe it'll go viral, maybe it won't, maybe no one will see it, maybe a few people will see it, but at least it will give us a kind of an inkling, and we can give you some feedback on what we think from the streets. Because I feel like, not though we're content creators, I think for you and so many, we are the street team. We hear what is going on in
We
the
talk
streets,
to people.
what people are saying, our own families, our people that we know, and we are on multiple social medias. Because what pops on TikTok is not always popping on Twitter or on Blue Sky or on all the other apps, right? People are
Right.
talking about all kinds of different things on different applications. And like we say, Twitter is not necessarily real life, because some things that talk about on Twitter, people have never heard about on the street. So you have
Right.
to kind of get information from different sources to kind of figure out where people are getting information from, and what are they watching. I think that is a critical thing when we talk about like misinformation. When people are talking, say, where do you get your information from? Because a lot of times you'll find that they're getting their information from TikTok, or they're getting their information from a friend, or they're getting or they're just seeing something and only getting part of the story. So where are you really truly getting your information? I know where my dad and my mom get information. They watch MSNBC all day. I mean, that's what they do. That's kind of that's what a lot of older people do, but we know that younger people are not watching the news. So like my daughter, I have to ask her, where are you getting your information from? And
Mm-hmm.
she'll say, well, I got it from TikTok, or sometimes her friend will tell her something, and then she'll come to me and verify, because I'm Google and I know everything.
Yes, aren't
That's
we?
how they think. But no, I think that's an important thing to do, because we also have to be our own fact checkers. We're talking about the DNC has to have fact checkers and rapid response, but we have to be our own fact checkers on what people are hearing and saying, because you got to guide them in the right direction to be like, no, that's not true. That might, even my husband, he doesn't even pay attention to politics, but he'll hear stuff on sports radio, or he'll hear something in the gym, and he'll come and ask me like, Donald Trump is doing this, and I'm like, yeah. It's so stupid, because it's like, why do we even have to do this? But this is where we are. And the misinformation is out of control.
It really is. And I consider myself to be a source of information for people like my family and other folks. So I feel a responsibility to make sure that the information that I am providing people on my various platforms is accurate, like, and providing receipts and things, because as you said, you don't know where people are getting information. I just want to make sure that anybody that is getting it from me knows that they are getting actual facts. Like, this isn't just Miss D's opinion, because at this point, a lot of even the mainstream media folks, it's their opinion. Like, some of them,
exactly.
And I'm like, I got an opinion too, and I think mine's is based in a lot more information and fact and knowledge than yours is, because at this point in my 60s, a lot of my information is lived experience. Like,
Right.
I don't have to look some stuff up because I live this stuff,
Exactly.
So
yeah, no, for sure. I think you're right. Like you said, you're much older than me. Not saying that in the wrong way, but you're my parents' age, right? So I'm two, like maybe two generations underneath you, because I'm like kind of millennial-ish. Like, I'm right there. Like, I'm the first of the millennials, right? The
yeah.
elder millennials, the geriatric millennials, as they say. But like, I'm more closer to your daughter's age, right? And your
Mhm.
son's age. But but you and I we still are seeing the same things, and you may have, like I said, lived it. I'm only reading about it. So when we're talking, this is kind of why I feel like we always have like really good conversations, because you've seen it. I'm hearing about it. And as you said, we're going backwards to where we were, but you've already seen this play before.
Which is why I scream so loud, because it's like, I'm not being hyperbolic here, guys. I know. And plus the fact, living in a red state, like, I've seen the new version that they're trying to roll out. Like, I've seen how they are doing it differently this time, but it's the same old shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
These like I said, it is very disturbing to me that the big ugly bill basically was focused around a lot of policing, and military, really militarizing, the the military in a way, politicizing our military, which was never designed to do. And of course, being a veteran, coming from a family of veterans, it's an area that I watch really, really closely, and something that really disturbed me today that I saw, which I say, like, one of the key things is this Christian nationalism. It's a real threat. Like, you don't have to be a Christian, you don't have to be offended by it because of your religion, but understand the danger of it, because what we have is a lot of these people who are now in powerful positions, like Hexet, who is here in my state now with this Christian nationalism. And now this, what's his name? This Wilson dude, who had the Moscow in Moscow, Iowa. He has a church. They have a city that's basically Christian nationalism. Well, now they have people, which some of the tech bros and those folks are involved in here in Tennessee, buying up land to make it a Christian nationalist city.
Oh, wow.
So they're not going to stop there. And people need to understand that there's a broader plan at work. And I understand people want to see fight, and we all have to fight. Like, one of the most irritating things for me at this point is people keep calling for leaders, and what are they doing? And my thing always is, what are you doing? Like, because we all have to be doing
Exactly.
something. At this point, we can't be waiting for orders on high, because
Yeah, and I think that's like a lot of people. I think a lot of people, especially Democrats, want someone to give them marching orders. I've never operated like that.
me either.
Like, I'll rather apologize for doing something than, like, I don't need permission. You know, that kind of like that saying, like, I don't need permission. I'd rather ask for an apology than permission. Like, I'll do
Right.
it, and then if somebody doesn't like it, then oh well, too bad. Like, I'll just be like, my bad. But I think like I said, we don't need permission. We've never needed permission to say what we feel or give our opinions. We all have opinions, right? Everybody
Right.
has them. The thing is, like I said, you have to back your opinions up with facts. Like,
Right.
I have my opinions on a whole lot of things, but if I don't have the receipts to show it, I'm not going to talk about it on social media. I'll just keep it to myself, or talk about it with my friend Gwen or whomever, and we'll just shoot the shit. But I just feel like there's like so much happening, and it's disturbing. And like I said, where do we like? I get it. People want some kind of something to grasp onto or say, give me. And I feel like that was kind of part of the whole, like, remember we were having all those protests, like, and like they had the Tesla protests and all these protests, no
Mm-hmm.
kings and all these things. And it just felt to me, and maybe I could be wrong, but it felt like because Black people have always taken the lead on a lot of these protests, that a lot of white folks weren't really sure which way to go or how to move. And I just feel like somebody has to take control of the situation, but it can't always be us, right?
Right.
We can't always be the leaders. The Hispanics in California, they went and did their own thing. They didn't ask for permission. They went and they had their protest. And of course, that was like a couple of weekends. It kind of stopped, it died down, but they didn't back down, and I appreciate that about them. And there was other people that joined in the protest with them, right? There was people that said, "I'm not going to join." Respect that. That's okay. You don't have to join protest. I'm not joining a protest. I mean, listen, I'm not a protest kind of person.
Right. Like the work that we can do, it doesn't all have to be the same. Like we don't all have to
Exactly.
march in lockstep, but we all have to have the same focus on the mission of saving our democracy and stopping that. And as you said, the way that I operate, it starts locally. Like I am involved in an organization, Blue Tennessee, and our focus, because we're here in a red state, and we have to rebalance the power structure here. And a lot of I understand, I don't cry about it or whatever, like the DNC not putting money here, because they're not any real winnable
Right.
races for them. So I get that. But it doesn't mean that we, the people, don't keep fighting here, or that we don't find ways. And so one of the ways that we find to fight is to put an opponent up against everyone that's running, no matter how gerrymandered it is, because slowly over time, you whittle away. And it also gives people who are Democrats someone to vote for. It gives them a voice. It lets them know that there are people here in the state fighting for them, whether or not they win. People want to know that you're fighting for them. So that's really important. And so that's why I think that a lot of times, like, people looking at things from the national standpoint need to look closer to home. Find those, I tell people, find the things that you care about that affect you or your family or your community. Either do something or find an organization that is doing something about it, because unfortunately, I think that's what a lot of people don't get, is that right wing infrastructure, it is massive. Like they
Hmm.
don't, they're kind of connected to the same agenda and mission, but they work in different venues in different ways all the time. And they just kind of come together when they need to. And that's what we have to do, is to continue doing our work as individual citizens, joining other groups, networks, and places where we can locally. And then those things can connect with national efforts. And that's a lot of what I'm trying to focus, like I said, focus conversations around, so that people understand that and encourage them to get involved locally, because, it can connect to larger national efforts. So I see Kenny is still unable to join us, and I don't want to keep you
Yeah,
guys
no,
all
no
day.
worries. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to end. I think my last thing to say on this is, I think as a party, we have to try to kind of figure out our messaging. Well, when we talk about messaging, but I think a lot of people, as we're seeing in many, many states, and Tom Bonnier, I follow him all the time. I've seen it myself in Maryland. A lot of people are changing affiliation from Democrat to independent. They're not feeling the party system anymore. They're still going to vote Democrat, right? So how do you tailor the messaging so that it appeals to everyone? And I don't mean Republicans. They're never going to agree. They think all of us are crazy radical leftists, right? But there are people that are in the center, and we have to remember that we have a large Big Ten party. We talk about this all the time. That you go from the left, way, way left, to center, right? Like that center of the electorate.
Mhm.
And we need to figure out how we are going to go forward, even on a state level, even on a local level. You need to appeal to those people in a specific way. I love Westmore because so I don't know if you know this, but we have a town in Western Maryland, which is a Trump. Maryland's not all blue. We have a very Trumpian town. They voted
They're
for Trump
everywhere.
like 80 damn percent. Like they love some damn Trump. But he denied them FEMA money, right? He denied them FEMA. They voted for him. They're pissed. The mayor is livid, okay? She is a diehard Trumper, right? But he told them, no, you're not getting any FEMA money. Westmore was one of the first people on the scene. He's been there helping the community, giving money to the community. And I even heard Mom Donnie talk about this, right? And I was kind of shocked because I saw it on TikTok where he said, I am the mayor. I will be the mayor for everyone in the city. I don't care if you're a Republican. Because he said a Republican woman came and asked him a question at an event and asked him about, like, it was like a business event. And she was asking him about her business. And he said, listen, I am going to be the mayor for every New Yorker, not just Democrats or people who voted for me. And I think that is actually a really good message that Westmore has stated. If you go like through, again, I follow him very closely because obviously he's my governor, but I think that's an Andy angle. It's a Kathy angle. It's a Josh Shapiro angle. You are not the governor or the mayor for just one party. You are going to be the mayor or the governor or the senator or the president for everybody. Apparently, Trump doesn't understand that because he thinks he's the president of only the conservatives and F everybody else. But this is kind of like the way that I think we need to kind of tailor our messaging, is that we are going to help every single person. It's not just Democrats or it's not just independents and it doesn't have to be a black or white issue, a race issue. This is a people issue, a human issue. Everybody across the spectrum of races are on Medicaid, on Medicare, on Social Security. We need to protect those programs. And the constituents that actually utilize them, right? This is how we need to be able to talk to people and get them on board, that it's not about party. We need to move away from this party thing. It doesn't work because we see the trajectory.
It's polarizing.
Right. We see the trajectory, and people don't like to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. We see the trajectory and how people are affiliating with party. They're going to, at some point in the next 3-4 years, probably by 2028, there may be more independents than there are Democrats, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
we are going to have to start asking questions about it. Does that mean we have to cater to whiteness? Does that mean we have to cater to white supremacy? Absolutely not. We need to cater to the things that the people want to care about, which is mostly on the list of things, affordability. They cannot afford the basic things like groceries. These
Mhm.
people on Fox News are telling, I was watching a clip, and the woman, of course, they're talking in some Trump town, and she's like, I can't afford my groceries. Like, this is getting too expensive because the fool put tariffs on every damn thing. So we're gonna have to start talking to people like, I hate the word normal people or real people. We're just gonna have to talk about shit that matters to actual people. And VP did, because I hate when people say that. They're like, oh, but VP didn't talk. No, she did talk about it. but people were too focused on other shit to not listen to her message. So if she is going to run again, she's going to have to harp on that, and hopefully she'll have more than 107 days to actually get a message across on what she wants to do to better this country. And I thought her Stephen Colbert interview was good. That's a start. And people are going to, they're going to be a primary, and people are going to have to decide what they want to do. Maybe somebody else will have a different message. But we need to start talking about what we're going to do, how we are going to do it, and what we are going to do to achieve it. Because it's easy to say, well, I'm going to, and even from Mamdani, it's easy to say, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, a $30 minimum. How the hell are you going to get it done? Right? We need, and I think this was my biggest issue with like 2020 and 2024, is especially 2024, because we didn't tell people, you need to give me the Congress to be able to get shit done.
Right.
I fight with people all the time because they don't get that. They don't get that we need to have the Congress.
Well, that was the case with Obama too. That a lot of people
were arguing. This guy was arguing with me, and I'm like, dude, I shouldn't have to teach you civics, but apparently I got to teach you civics, and I got to teach you math as well. The reason why Obama didn't get stuff done, or the reason why Biden couldn't fulfill this promise, is because we didn't have enough votes, and there's no promises to me. This is my opinion. There's no promises in politics, right? There's proposals, there's plans, but to achieve those things, you need to be able to have a legislature, a Congress, to be able to get, because not everything can be done by executive order. And I think people are delusional about how government works. And this is why I try to teach civics. Even that census thing that came out this week pissed me off so bad, because y'all want to change the census, but what does that impact? It impacts the Electoral College, it impacts funding, it impacts the congressional seats. Like, all of this stuff is impacted because government, it all is intertwined. And a lot of people just don't understand how that works. And and I've never used my social studies degree before until I got on Twitter. Like, I don't even work. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. I'm supposed to be a teacher, but I use it to teach people civics because it's lacking. People just don't understand how any of this works.
They really don't. And that is the key. And that, again, is why I do the things that I do, because of that missing link, because I want people to get civically engaged. And where I start is for them getting informed, and understanding civics is a kind of like a basic part of that, because I went to school during a time when, schools were just being integrated, but they were still teaching civics and those kinds of things. And somewhere along the way, these things just became less important. Then they became more polarizing, political, and, you can't even teach, like accurate history and stuff now. So this is what we're fighting. Again, like I said, an information war. And I'm so thankful to know warriors like you and Kenny and Zach and others in the fight. And we have to keep doing this work, bringing people in, amplifying good messages, and, good warriors, who actually hold power, and kind of, grabbing their ear when and where we can. I hope they kind of tap into us and recognize how beneficial we can be to them, and just bring people in, because really, I'm worried. I'm worried about whether or not
we're all stressed out. We're all stressed out. But I think what we're all trying to do in our own way, you have your advocacy arena. We have this that we do every other week, which I do think is great. I, of course, enjoy talking to you. There's so much that happens in 2 weeks. But also, like I said, we have, like you talked about, we have our Big Three, which is on YouTube live. You can also catch it on YouTube later on, during, afterwards, because it records. And we try to have like real conversations like we're having now about politics, but from a perspective, because I don't feel like there are people that look like us that are having these. Don Lemon does. He does a really good job. There's, obviously XM Radio. They have a lot of political shows on there. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's about the people you connect with. Sometimes you want to hear from them, not necessarily people that are just, like a radio show or something like that. So right. our big three. You know, we're trying to grow that platform. So hopefully, people, if you don't follow me on YouTube, follow me. It's at candidly_tiff on YouTube. Follow me there. Follow Kenny, Too Raw Too Real, Zactivist over there, and we will definitely probably consolidate that to make it just one. I don't know if Kenny said that. We're gonna make it like one big three like platform so that people can just watch on one. Because right now people can watch on all three of our lives, but we want to bring it together so that we actually have something and build something. Because what do we really have that's for us, right? What do we have that's for us that people know us? I mean, we are on social media, so people appreciate our posts, our candor, our other things that we talk about. But how do you build a platform and make it stay? I think consistency is the key. I think you know that. But it is about consistency. And it's hard because you get tired. I mean, we all have real life shit happening. We have jobs and all kinds of stuff. And we don't get paid for this. This is not something that we get paid. Some people do get paid for it. But think about the people that are making money over there just spreading lies. Lies. Nothing but lies.
Yeah. So what we do is important. It's fun, but it's important. But, like, I think we're all passionate about it, which is why, like I said, I love you guys. I try to amplify because you're doing good, necessary work. You're doing it out, because you care. You care about your communities and your country. I know people accuse you guys of being shills, being paid or whatever, but none of us are being paid. We do this because we love our country. It's, all the, the crazy, it's not perfect, but we want to perfect it, and so we keep doing the work that will help to make that happen. So I thank you, Tiff, always. I'm looking forward to our next Fired Up Friday. I am so happy that Kenny was able to join us today. So guys, if you haven't followed Candidly Tiff, follow her. She's on all of the platforms. Follow her here. Kenny as well. Too Raw Too Real on all the platforms. And of course, Advocacy Arena D. I'm on most of them. I don't do meta stuff and I don't do TikTok, but subscribe to the Substack. I'm trying to grow it, do different things, bring different voices in, but ultimately, like I said, just trying to increase civic engagement and points of information. And by the way, on Fridays on Spoutable, not everyone's on there, but if you are, I have my Good Trouble chat every Monday, same time, 12:30 on Spoutable. And then on Fridays now I'm expanding that work because I try to get the top news and things done in the advocacy arena, the Good Trouble chat to just make sure people know certain things. But on Fridays, I have a documentary watch. So we watch documentaries and we talk about those things and we kind of expound on things in more details and get more granular. We've watched, we did Vigilantes Inc., which is all about voter suppression. Thank you, Greg Palaz, for that. We also watched a documentary on the Wilmington coup in North Carolina in 1889. So people understand how ruthless white supremacy is and why when Black people even get power, like legally, they're mad. It's the white backlash that always happens, and it's been forever. And we also watched Bad Faith, which is a documentary that helps people understand the infrastructure that supports this white Christian nationalist agenda, basically. And tonight we're going to be talking about The Lost Cause, and that is about how they rewrite history. The revisionism, that's an old game too, and how it is still playing out today. So you guys join us, follow us, and of course, join Tiff and I back here again in 2 weeks for another Fired Up Friday. So thank you guys. We appreciate the love and the attention that you have paid to the conversation today. So peace out, everyone.